MTG Scoundrels, it's in the cardboard. Ladies and gentlemen, scoundrels of all ages, welcome back to another episode of Modern Weekly. Today on the docket, we have two new Modern Horizons 3 decks for you guys. We have Blue-Green Nadu versus Gruul Eldrazi. Of course, Nadu decks taking over the format by storm. Pun intended. And Eldrazi has really been trying to find the list that performs the best, with a few different lists putting up results. Looks like starting out here, Nadu going to 6. And we'll start with Forest into Birds of Paradise. Stomping Ground, taking 2. Into Ancient Stirrings. Looking at 5. Putting an Eldrazi Temple into hand and passing the turn. Urza's Saga, tapping 3. And there's an Eldritch Evolution. Of course, Eldritch Evolution sacking a 1-drop here to find a 3-drop. And there is Nadu. One of the strongest cards to come out of Modern Horizons 3. Of course, Nadu here says, creatures you control have, whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, reveal the top card of your library. If it is a land, put it into play. Otherwise, put it into your hand. Here's an Eldrazi Linebreaker, targeting itself, giving it haste, attacking for 4. Of course, Eldrazi Linebreaker being one of the strongest cards out of Modern Horizons 3 for the Eldrazi deck. It's essentially a Reality Smasher on turn 3. Saga on 2 here. And there is a Springheart Nantuko, another one of the new cards out of Modern Horizons 3. Has a bunch of abilities. Nadu getting in for 3 there, bringing us to 16 to 15. Springheart Nantuko, though, whenever a land enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 insect token. There is a Cavern of Souls naming Eldrazi. And there is a lightning bolt to kill the Nantuko. However, there is a target here, triggering the Nadu, putting an Eldritch Evolution into hand. Attacking for 4 with the Eldrazi Linebreaker and passing the turn. Urza's Saga, floating a mana on the 3rd chapter. And there is Shuko. The key part of Shuko here is it has a quip for 0. Shuko targeting the Nadu. Targeting it one more time. Land comes into play. Fetching. Finding a breeding pool. Now notice on Nadu it only says you can target each creature twice per turn to get its effect. Not that that's difficult for these Nadu lists. There is a Noble Hierarch. Targeting Noble Hierarch with the Shuko. Land comes into play. Targeting it one more time. Noble Hierarch. Target the Noble Hierarch. Targeting it again. Land comes into play. Fetching. Finding a Dryad Arbor. A key piece here if you want to keep the engine going. Targeting the Arbor here. Springheart and Tuco to hand. Targeting it one more time. Bristly Bill to hand. Cycling. Looks like wizard cycling specifically. To find another Nadu. Discarding hand size, passing the turn. There's a Thought-Knot Seer. You have a few targets. Bristly Bill, not a bad idea. Wouldn't be surprised, though, if it's the Springheart and Tuco here that gets exiled. Though making them whiff is the hardest part. Because to a certain extent, when you have this many creatures out, you have a lot of looks. Yep, taking the Springheart and Tuco here. Oops. Card down. Ancient Stirrings. Getting another Eldrazi Temple. Now, one of the cool things about Ancient Stirrings is it does find Ghostfire Slice, one of the new burn spells. But not this time. Looks like blocking the Eldrazi line breaker, taking damage off of the Thought-Knot Seer. Going to 2. Targeting. To hand. Targeting. To hand. And again. And again. Land into play. Build a hand. Hierarch to hand. Hierarch to hand. Should be noted here, the Shuko should still be on that Noble Hierarch. There's a Noble Hierarch, targeting, Saga into play, targeting again, another land into play, this time Misty Rainforest, playing a Noble Hierarch, targeting, putting Shuko to hand. Targeting putting a land into play. Tapping 2. And 1 to play another Nadu here. Everything gets fresh targets. Targeting, land into play. Again, Nadu to hand. Springheart, Nantuko into hand as well. Playing the Springheart Nantuko. Targeting. Targeting. And this is how this works. Land comes into play. Get a token. Land into play, get another token. At this point, as long as there's still double blue up for Thassa's Oracle, the Nadu deck should have the win here. The real key to playing this Nadu deck, though, even if, you know, this may or may not be the optimized version of it, be as organized as you can be with your targets and the creatures that have already been targeted. And just to show the win con here, there is the Thassa's Oracle. And that is the power of the blue-green Nadu deck, and any Nadu deck in general. Nadu taking game 1. Thank you all so much for watching us here at MTG Scoundrels. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe. Be a friend, tell a friend. Let us know what decks you're most interested in here after Modern Horizons 3 has released in the comments below. And if you check the description below, you can find timestamps for the individual games, as well as deck lists for both of these new Modern Horizons 3 decks. And if you're in the market for some new tokens, check out our friends over at Arcane Artistry. Definitely check them out. The stained glass treatment is one of our favorites. Clues, treasures, and food. And we know they're interested in making new tokens here in the future. Link in the description below. Sideboard-wise, I wouldn't be surprised if the Eldrazi deck brings in more removal, specifically instant speed removal that can get rid of Nadu early and often, and also just to slow them down by getting rid of mana dorks. Of course, the Nadu list probably bringing in a certain amount of interaction as well. All right, moving on to game 2 here. Looks like Nadu going to at least 6. Of course, we have Noah here on Nadu. Alright, getting started. Taking one, going to 19, casting Ancient Stirrings. Finding Eldrazi Temple. Passing the turn. Misty Rainforest, go. Eldrazi Temple. Into Glaring Fleshraker. Honestly, one of my favorite cards out of the set. Fetching here, finding an untapped breeding pool, bringing us to 17 to 19. And there is a Consign to Memory. Counter target triggered ability or colorless spell with Replicate 1. Urza Saga. And passing. Land for turn. There's the Thought-Knot Seer on turn 3. Gonna love it. That is a interesting set of cards there. Probably taking the Springheart Nantuko. Yep, taking the Springheart. It gets exiled. And there is the Wizard cycling. Go find a bird, put it in the hand. Hedge Maze, Surveil. Looks like it's a Shuko on top. Deciding to put the Shuko into the bin. And casting another Springheart Nantuko. Taking 2 off the untapped Stomping Grounds. Tapping the temple, casting an Eldrazi Mimic. Tapping 2. And there's the Disruptor Flute. Looks like naming Nadu. Not only making it to where it can activate abilities, but very specifically, making the card cast 3 more to cast. Thought-Knot Seer getting in for 4. Bringing us to 13, 17. And passing. Question is, do you float the mana or do you make the construct? Looks like making the construct here. Finding Shuko. And passing. Untapping, drawing. There's the Reality Smasher. Eldrazi Mimic will become a 5/5. Attacking him with the team. Decides to double block the Thought-Knot Seer to be able to draw a card here. Trading 2 creatures for 1. 10 getting in, bringing us to 3-17. And scooping it up. Game 2 going to Gruul Eldrazi, putting on an impressive showing. Thank you again for watching us here at MTG Scoundrels. If you enjoy our content, as always, be a friend, tell a friend, like and subscribe. Deck lists and timestamps for games in the description below. The modern format still has a lot to iron out with all these new cards that have entered the format. Looks like moving on to game 3 here. Looks like Nadu going to 6. Breeding Pool into Noble Hierarch. Bring us to 18-20, passing. Eldrazi Temple. Looks like firing off the Dismember just to get Noble Hierarch off the board. Let's see if that was a correct call. There's another another bird essentially. Birds of Paradise here. No land though. Ooh. A Tale as Old as Time. Turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer. 2 counter spells in hand. Eldritch Evolution. The card being chosen, passing the turn. There's another bird. Forest. Tapping 2 for a Disruptor Flute. That will get countered. But there is another Dismembered taking out the other bird. Attacking in for 4. Bringing us to 14-12 and passing. Bird casting Shuko. Passing the turn. And there is a Collector Oof. Someone's been hurt before by artifacts. Attacking him for 4, passing the turn. Playing a Noble Hierarch, passing. There's an untapped Stomping Ground. Taking 2. There's a Reality Smasher. That'll get countered. Attacking him for 4. 6 to 10. And there's a Lightning Bolt to deal with the Noble Hierarch. There is a Fairy Imposter as a blocker. Glaring Fleshraker. Attacking him for 4. Taking 4. There is a land. And that'll be game. Game set match going to Gruul Eldrazi. Thank you all so much for watching us here at MTG Scoundrels. If you enjoy our content, once again, please be a friend, tell a friend, like and subscribe. Let us know decks you want to see out of the new Modern Horizons set. And we will see you all next week.